part is, in this prison as a whole, there are not 50 cameras or 100 cameras, but 1,700 active cameras. All right, so then we go through the 3rd stage biometric verification, 4th stage metal detectors, 5th stage a full body search. Feels more thorough than an airport, for sure. And you would think after all that you must be through. You would be wrong. What I actually found quite interesting here is that the same biometric tech that lets the prison know who's going in and out is also what's underlying a whole load of other systems. For example,
the issuing of equipment as well, radios, cuffs, batons, parva, is done via biometric as well for the staff.
That's communicating with the server.
Yeah.
So the server always knows when a piece of equipment is in use.
Yeah, there's no hiding from technology, is there?
And then, just before getting out into the main prison compound itself, this is the room where every key in the entire facility is stored. This room is so high security that you can't see anything. We have to blur everything out here because the key design cannot leak. And if it does, or even if a single key is so much as misplaced, then the entire prison would be considered compromised. It would have to be entirely relocked, and that would cost about £2 million.
Come on through.
What's the beeping?
Telling me this door's open, and I'm not allowed to open that door until I've locked this door.
So, when you open this door, that alarm starts beeping. That alarm won't stop beeping till that door is locked because there's a sensor on the inside. You can't open that door till that stopped beeping and that's shut. So this is basically the 7th barrier when you're trying to get from the outside world to the inside world. And it's a video call with the front desk. You'll start to notice one interesting thing with all of these security measures, that it's very much not what you see in the movies, like 7 separate lines of bodyguards, but instead 7 very varied security steps, some technological, some using physical keys, some human control. This is like a real operational prison with real prisoners staying here. Oh, this is a very low-tech part of a otherwise very high-tech prison. But, you know, cameras, and it's a very, very high steel fence.
They're built to a technical standard. The standards that we stipulate through the different categories of prison for levels of security and materials that we use in the build, we have to adhere to those.
So just to clarify, there are 4 different categories of prison in the UK. Category A is maximum security. Category B is for prisoners who don't need maximum security, but for whom escape is still a risk. Category C for those who are unlikely to try and escape. And then Category D, which is basically an open prison.
Any fence that we consider as a risk, somebody getting over, you'll see a 5.2 metre fences. Once we get into the prison, it's more the general use area, the 3.6 metre fences.
Is that a national rule?
That's our technical standard, yeah.
Presumably, no one's going to be able to jump something even half that height.
That height gives you enough time to respond, to get staff here. We respond, and that height will prevent them from doing anything before we can get here. To a certain height on the fence as well, you've got this sheeting. You'll see the sheeting is on this side of the fence here, facing this way, so it prevents that initial attempt at climb as well.
See, and also these are not designed with fingers getting through.
No, they're anti-climb fences.
Anti-climb fences.
And also on all the bolts, we have to reduce them to a certain distance so they can't be used as ladders to get up as well. That's the type of thing we have to look at when we're doing the build. We cut the bolts off so you can't use them as a climbing aid.
Yeah, your fingers really struggle to get through.
Yeah, really difficult. This has been tried, tested, and it's proven to be a good standard for the service.
So this is a 5.2 metre anti-climb fence. I'm not in the best shape I've been. But yeah, there's no way. There's no way. So after all of those security stages, we are in the prison. And while the technology here is so advanced, there's one common principle that will keep coming up with the way this prison thinks about security. Your back lines, your kind of final port of call is all manual.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
Realistically, there's not a lot of risk to it because it's a physical action.
So we're going to start at the brand new visitor center. We'll get to test what happens if you take drugs into the prison, experience being locked in an actual prison cell where the inmates live, try out the high-tech workshops, explore the secret beating heart of the jail, the control center, and then finally talk one-on-one with the prisoner about their experience here.
So what you'll see as we walk around, we design the prison with fence lines that break up the estate so that we can control access and egress from those.
So first up, the visitor center.
So the prisoners come into here, they book in at this desk, they're all computerized, it's all on the system, who's expected, so you can't just turn up and say I'm having a visit. It has to be booked.
The prisoners book the visit?
Yeah.
Is that on their tablets?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a lot nicer than I was expecting it to be.
If you have a look up at the cameras that are in this place, I think even you'll be quite amazed.
1, 2, every 5 meters there's a camera. What's going on in there?
I knew you were going to go straight for that. Purple Visits it's called, and these are visit booths that people can do visits online.
Right. Okay, so this is wow, it's like properly soundproofed. So you've got a HP computer here, and I'm assuming it's highly regulated what people can actually access on this.
Absolutely.
Well, it's well lit, and it feels very soundproof. So at least you can have the reassurance that the conversation you're having is private. At least it is from other inmates. Of course, the prison staff, they are monitoring every call.
If, for example, you were cleared to have a visit with 2 people, so your mother and father, if then a child walked in the background, it would shut down.
Wow. And it's using AI to make sure that only the people who are meant to be on the call are on the call.
Yeah.
One of the key tenets of this prison seems to be giving the prisoners the opportunity to still keep in touch with family and friends. Because what they found is that offenders who maintain family ties are 39% less likely to reoffend. Presumably because their family is A, trying to help set them straight, and then B, because assuming you do manage to keep those connections while you are in prison, you're not going to then feel when you come out of prison like the entire rest of your life has disappeared. You still got it together. So this is a virtual courtroom.
Yeah.
In what situation would you use this?
When they're not required to attend court in person. It prevents risk, so if a prisoner's not leaving establishment, there's no risk of anything happening while they're out. It's also cost effective. It's time efficient as well on staff. It's just a really efficient way to do it. Technology is absolutely brilliant, but also there is a place for old ways working, to be honest. Some things you can't replace.
It's a great thing to say on a technology channel.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to show you that with the dogs.
Yes, he said dogs. And we're about to see why, even in such a high-tech facility, that they're still deciding to use dogs as part of their security arsenal. So there's 4 types of dog. There's the passive drug dog, the active drug dog, the explosives dog, and then the attack dog. More of a cat guy myself.
This is a passive drug dog. His name's Harvey. When the dog's working, do not try and stroke him or talk to him. Like such. Good boy.
This is not what I thought I'd be doing today. Got a hit. So obviously a lot of this is very manual right now. Is it something that you feel like tech could ever replace?
Not really, no. They have tried in the past, trialled machines that scan up and down you, but it's been proved not to be as effective. Dog's nose is 25,000 times stronger than ours. 25,000 times stronger.
Okay, now the active drug dog. So what is it looking for?
All illegal substances that prisoners are not allowed.
Oh, we found something.
Good lad. Beth. Good boy.
So hypothetically, that dog could be trained to find my iPhone.
Yes. I used to have a phone dog. Phone dogs are trained to find phones, batteries, and SIM cards.
And that would do a much better job than the app.
Yes, yeah.
All right, next up is the explosives dog. Straight to the corner. She found it already.
Yay! Good girl. Her core instinct is searching, so even if she's out walking, she's still searching away.
Crazy the extent to which dogs can train. The dogs I know are not like this. And then the 4th and final.
This dog, no one's allowed to interact with them. You're not allowed to get within 8 foot of them. No one asks for half or anyone.
Minimum of 8-foot gap is for what exactly?
Safety reasons, that's
Okay.
the the lead.
Because this is the most dangerous dog.
This is the most force that can be inflicted.
Right, so just to be clear, this dog can inflict the most force that can be inflicted, and I should be 8 feet away. That's nice. So 8-foot gap at all times.
Minimum.
At a minimum. I feel like I don't quite have that now. Is there any tech involved in this process, or is it very much like manual, human and dog? Yeah, very much human. Yeah, I don't know why I asked that question. It's quite hard to think straight when there's an attack dog directly locking eyes with you.
Are you going to spark this one up?
Sorry, when you say spark it up, what do you mean?
Are they quick trainers? How quickly can you get over that fence, Aaron?
I've tried already. It didn't work very well. He looks agitated. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is a triggered dog in action. And it's trained to basically run after him and bite him. And you just bring that dog on and the prisoners back off.
Yeah, everyone does. As you did.
Yeah, as I did, yeah. So your plan is usually to take the dog out, let it bark a few times, dissolve the situation.
We don't go out with the intention of setting a dog on someone. Absolutely not.
But there's one more part to this whole incident response. It's if something breaks out, what you don't want to do is to just rush a staff member in there to try and fix it, because they could put themselves in harm's way. So there's also a drone. The drone is going to be thrown up into the air, scope the area from above to make sure the situation is what we think it is. So you're using a DJI.
Yes.
DJI
Mavic 3T.
And what's the reason you've gone for this one?
We changed over to DJI because they're a lot more flexible, a lot easier to put up, a lot quicker for a response.
This is an Enterprise edition of the drone. What is different about the Enterprise edition?
We've got thermal cameras on this for obviously the night incidents. With this system now, because DJI is very pliable with the system we use, we can data transmit live imagery now out to our gold command. So during an incident, they get live updated imagery of what's going on. The drone can obviously follow the prisoner around. It'll also put out any points that are vulnerable, so it'll allow us to put containment lines in to keep the prisoner in one area rather than have the full flexibility. We're up and going in about 30 seconds. While the drone's up, the second colleague will then be data transmitting the imagery through to headquarters.
I assume the entire prison complex is designed in a way that from this bird's eye viewpoint, you can see everything.
Yeah, we can use this collaboration with our dog teams for searching for a prisoner if they've escaped. So we'd be the air support, looking ahead of the staff, and then we could guide them in and locate them into anything we find.
In a way, it's actually kind of reassuring for the consumer that even in an industry where it's so important to have the absolute best, that they're still using consumer grade gear, in a sense. The tracking features of that DJI drone, that's good enough to track an escaped prisoner. Right?
So this is my response vehicle here.
So we're going to the house blocks now. So this is actually where the prisoners themselves are staying. And after that, we're going to talk to one.
Everybody's perception of a prison is bars, isn't it? And you can see the barless windows.
And when you say barless windows, you mean, I guess, glass?
No metal bars, yeah, it's glass.
I'm assuming there's a lot that's gone into the actual material as well to make sure no one can...
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. We build to technical standards, and the technical standard for this is they have to be attack resistance for 90 minutes. We did testing on these and we used the national resources to do it. So they attack the window with anything we can find in the area, what we'd expect to find. We get one person to attack it for 30 seconds and we stop the stopwatch and then we put someone else in as well. And we do it for a 90-minute period, which takes 6 hours to do.
That's phenomenal.
The barless window is not about preventing the air coming in, it's about not preventing that view, which then refocuses the brain, really.
Okay, now onto the inside, where you're greeted with the hallways, which is where the routine medication is stored for all the inmates.
Now that we're coming into the new world and getting with technology, we've got this great piece of equipment that's biometric.
So they scan their finger and their specific medication will become available to
It'll
them.
be in one of these lockers. So where we have put bars and where we believe there's a need for bars, we've put the bars horizontally, and that's because they look like blinds rather than bars.
That's a specific decision you made for the psychological well-being of people.
Absolutely.
Notice you've got another big green button here.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Okay. Wait, they're all over the place. Those are all emergency buttons.
Yeah.
And you need one there as well as there.
They're put in areas of risk.
Is there a reason this is held open right now?
Yeah, because you're not allowed to see the workings of a lock. A door is either locked or it's in what we call a lockback.
Why we're not using biometrics for this?
You'd have to look at the expense of them, what happens if they fail.
And then just before the cells, there is a recreational area.
As you can see, I mean, it's pleasant, but it is what it is.
Are they free to use this at all times?
No, absolutely not. They're expected to go to work or education during the day.
So just notice the entire building is an X. Is there anything specific to the shape of an X? Something to do with being able to see from all angles what's happening?
You're absolutely spot on. If you were to sit there, you've got a field of vision where you can see down all landing.
Loads of sound dampening.
Yeah, acoustic tiles. It creates a calmer environment, doesn't it? So we need people to be able to speak to people at a certain level, which keeps that calmness.
Where the default talking volume is talking volume.
Yeah.
It's a very calm space. Let's go see a cell. I wasn't really sure what to expect here. All right, so you've got, there's a bed, there's a bed frame, there's a phone here. Who can they call with this?
So it could be family members, any individual they can put in. We risk assess them and we vet who they're allowed to call. They then go to work, to education, earn the finances to pay for the phone calls.
It seems like one of the big questions this prison is trying to answer is, how do you keep someone away from normal society for many years, but not let them forget how that society works? And so a common theme here is there are plenty of opportunities to learn, to grow, to improve, to keep in touch with your family, so long as the prisoner also puts the effort in from their end. And the idea of that is to get them ready for normal life again when they're out on the other end. So you've got a monitor, keyboard, mouse. There's actually a mini PC strapped to the back.
They can book medical appointments. They can do Open University as well.
Wow.
So
That's crazy. So a lot of the equipment is obviously very inexpensive, very simple keyboard and mouse. But I guess the idea is function without wasting cash.
you've got the television that runs through this as well.
They've got like access to what channels?
It's the bare minimum that we would expect to see. You've got the glass, which is the strengthened glass, and you've got a polycarbonate outer on there, so it kind of creates a lock, and that's the way they get the 90-minute attack resistance.
And I guess what that means is if a prisoner went rogue and used every bit of equipment available to them in their cell and attacked that for 90 minutes straight, it's